I told you this was going to happen at Pitt. I told you this was going to happen when Florida came to town. I told you when we went to LSU this was going to happen. I told you when Bama came to Neyland, and I told you when Kentucky showed up. Welcome and greetings. It is I, Rocket Man. This is the world according to Rockett the Vols edition. 3 reasons why the number 1 Volunteers will smash the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs. That is so much fun to say that. I know why you're here. You want to see the numbers. Come on, let's get right to it. First things first, have to give our congratulations and a huge shout out to our beloved Vols, number 1 in the country. Man, holy crackers. That's been a long time coming, right, guys? Congratulations to Coach Heupel, his staff, Hendon, Jalen. Man, what a team, what an organization, and this is just fabulous. We've waited a long time for this. And congratulations to the committee for seeing this the way I see it. My football handicapping is based on strength of schedule. This is what's called a resume. All right? Now, we're looking at this. Here are the games that Tennessee played. All the teams and their combined win-loss records. The teams that Tennessee played have a combined win-loss record of 31-26. The teams that Georgia played have a combined win-loss record of 22-27. Do you see the strength of schedule difference? Tennessee played better quality teams, right? And they beat them by an average of 27 points. Georgia played a lesser quality of team, and they won those games by 4 points more, by 31 points. But this difference right here, even though when you say number 1 and number 2, number 1, number 3, whatever, this is a big difference, all right? And it speaks to probability. It speaks to what's been done before. It speaks to what they can do under a certain set of circumstances and what can be expected of them to do. Now, here's something interesting. Here's Ball State, our first game of the year. Boom, play that. We beat them 59-10. You know, the first string played 3 quarters. I think everybody scored a touchdown. All the 3 quarterbacks scored a touchdown in this one, as I recall. And here is Kent State, a similar team, right, in the same conference. Georgia beats Kent State 39-22. This is at home, by the way. And Ball State gets beat 59-10 on the road. Well, look what happened here. Boom. Ball State and Kent State played. Ball State, our team from the MAC, beat Kent State, their team from the MAC, 27-20. That tells me something as well. Okay? Now, let me just kind of show you what I do. This is your basic, fundamental strength of schedule look. But I do it a little bit different to confirm what I find here. Okay? I actually put it in points so I can come up with a point number. Because that's what we're looking for, is a prediction, right? A score. So I've lined these up in who gets the nod in the metric, right? We had a common opponent in Florida. Georgia 42-20, Tennessee 38-33. Georgia gets the metric. The points per game during this season, And I quote, I caution you, this is different than this down here because I used a select number of games down here, right? So these numbers are going to be a little lower, but they're going to be more accurate as to this game on Saturday. So 43.5 for Tennessee, points per game, 41 to 43, and I'll explain that in a minute. For Georgia, points against, 21 and 10.5. I didn't get my red block, but Georgia gets the nod there. Turnovers, +1. Penalties, Georgia gets the nod here, 39 and 74. Now, this 74 might likely increase because they're on the road and the noise and whatever, and that can pick up penalties. We saw it happen to Alabama when they were in Neyland, right? But here's the big thing. The strength of schedule. I have my own number that represents this down here. Strength of schedule is 84 and 71 to 77. Let me explain that. When I use Auburn, the strength of schedule differential is 13. When I use Oregon at the first of the season, which is the only good team they played that is still good now, it's 77. So we have a -8 here, which is the line. This line opened up at -12, and it dropped to -8. Do you know what that means? What that means is all these people took Tennessee in -12 so much that they had to lower the line down to 8. So this was a gift to people who got the 12. I still think the 8 is a gift to people. All right? So by my calculations, my metrics, Tennessee should be a 7-point favorite, not Georgia, based on their strength of schedule. And when I look at the against the spread, 7-1 for Tennessee, 4-4 for Georgia, 71% completion of passes, 68 for Georgia, passing yards 353, 328 for Georgia. The rushing yards about the same each game. And the rushing yards allowed, 93 for Tennessee, 86. The 86 will get the nod here, but understand this. What you have to do is you have to get all of this in the context of this strength of schedule. All of these things in the context of the strength of schedule. Tennessee is winning most of these metrics, right? And over here, even though we got Georgia getting a nod there, Tennessee, if they run for 93 yards, which is essentially 100 yards, they're going to win the ball game, unless something disastrous happens. So what you have to do is you have to look at all these metrics in the context of the strength of schedule. Do you see? And it looks like a nuclear attack. These look like intercontinental ICBMs. So Tennessee really is, according to the world, according to Rocket, is a -7, right? That's what they are. And I'll live on that hill. I'll die on that hill as well. Now, understand this. My handicapping skills come from years ago at the racetrack when I was living in Los Angeles for 6 months out of the year. For about a decade, I was handicapping horses either at Hollywood Park or Santa Anita. Now, handicapping college football is not terribly dissimilar from handicapping horses. The big difference is with horses, you don't know why the trainer put the horse in the race. Are they entered to win, or are they entered just to get a workout under racing conditions? A big difference. So at the end of the day, once you've made that determination, you have to look at two things: past performance, past results, and what was the competition level within which those results were achieved. College football is no different, with the exception that we know that they are trying to win every game, right? So in that regard, it's a bit easier. Remember, past results and what was the competition level within which those results were achieved. Before I give you the prediction and the three reasons, odd things can occur during a football game. The ball is pointy on both ends. It can bounce stupid, and that can affect the results. Somebody important can get hurt. That can affect the results. A mistake can be made, which is not typical, but yet still made. For example, perfect example, in fact, when Tennessee muffed a handoff at the 5-yard line against Alabama. Remember that? Alabama scoops it up, runs for a touchdown, takes the lead after getting their butts kicked all night, right? Well, here's the deal. Champions rise above those oddities, and they win. I hope I'm not sounding too much like Butch Jones there. I apologize if I am. Okay, here are the three reasons why. Number 3, this is the healthiest that the Tennessee football team has been all year. Number 2, the University of Tennessee football team is the most prolific offense in the country. They now boast a defense that deserves a lot of respect. Number 1, numbers don't lie. The results are the results based on strength of schedule. It is a prime indicator of probability. For those reasons, my fellow beloved Vol fans, I look for Tennessee to smash Georgia 42-35. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I cannot, but I'd love to hear your opinion. Leave me a comment below. Hey, look, thank you for watching. I'm trying to get my numbers up after this long health layoff, and I wish you would help. Please like, share, subscribe to this podcast, and I will see you next time. Go Big Orange.